Oh, wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that. Looks just like me. Nice head of hair, I'll say that.
Donald Trump came to the Detroit Economic Club and stood there in front of the Ford Motor executives and said, if you close these factories as you're planning to do in Detroit and build them in Mexico, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on those cars when you send them back, and nobody's going to buy them. It was an amazing thing to see. No politician, Republican or Democrat, had ever said anything like that to these executives. And it was music to the ears of people in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the Brexit states.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? Say what you will about Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
Hillary Clinton stated multiple times, falsely, that 17 US intelligence agencies had assessed that Russia was the source of our publications. Okay. That's false. We can say that the Russian government is not the source, yes. WikiLeaks has been publishing for 10 years. In that 10 years, we've published 10 million documents. Several thousand individual publications, several thousand different sources. And we have never got it wrong.
Our country needs a truly great leader. And we need a truly great leader now. We need a leader that can bring back our jobs, can bring back our manufacturing, can bring back our military, can take care of our vets. Our vets have been abandoned. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that. I'll bring back our jobs from China, from Mexico, from Japan, from so many places. I'll bring back our jobs and I'll bring back our money. Sadly, the American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and we will make America great again. Thank you.
You said he's not going to run, really?
I have bet my entire savings account. I will give that money away if he runs for president.
Can he be taken seriously?
No, he cannot.
No, he will not be president. He will not be the nominee. He will not get the daily attention by 6 or 7 networks he's getting now.
He's colorful, he makes news, but I don't consider him a serious presidential candidate.
This man has got some momentum, and we better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket next year. I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on.
Sorry to laugh.
And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
Could he actually win?
No freaking way! Oh my God!
Raise your hand if you predicted this a year ago. Trump is the Republican Party's presumptive nominee for president.
Who are these people? What drives them?
Most of them are childless single men who masturbate to anime.
These people live in that constant state of fear.
He's giving voice to this terribly dark underbelly of America.
These are not people who matter in the overall course of humanity.
Do you take yourself a view of the US election? Do you have a preference for Clinton or Trump?
Donald Trump, what does he represent in the American mind and in the European mind? He represents American white trash. Deplorable and irredeemable. Basically the same thing. It means from a establishment or educated, cosmopolitan, urbane perspective, these people are, you know, they're like the rednecks, and you can't, like, they just can never deal with them. And because he so clearly, through his words and actions and the type of people who turns up his rallies, represents people who are not the upper middle class educated. Yeah. There's a fear of seeming to be associated in any way with that, a social fear that lowers the class status of anyone who can be accused of somehow assisting in any way Trump, including by criticizing Clinton. Yeah. And if you look at how the middle class gains its economic and social power, it makes absolute sense. Trump would not be permitted to win. Banks, intelligence, arms companies,
well, they all want him.
Beat foreign money, etc.
Yeah.
Is all united behind Hillary Clinton, and the media as well.
So on November 8th, the dispossessed will walk into the voting booth, be handed a ballot, close the curtain, and take that lever, or felt pen or touchscreen, and put a big fucking X in the box by the name of the man who has threatened to upend and overturn the very system that has ruined their lives. Donald J. Trump. They see that the elites who ruined their lives hate Trump. Corporate America hates Trump. Wall Street hates Trump. The career politicians hate Trump. The media hates Trump after they loved him and created him, and now hate him. Thank you, media. The enemy of my enemy is who I'm voting for on November 8th. Yes, on November 8th, you, Joe Blow, Steve Blow, Bob Blow, Billy Bob Blow, all the blows get to go and blow up the whole goddamn system because it's your right. Trump's election is going to be the biggest fuck you ever recorded in human history.
We started landscaping, me and my brother. I was a high school dropout at the time. We had run for a good 4 years. Business was booming. I had my own place. It was a sweet life. We were landscaping houses that have been repossessed or abandoned. One house had still plates on the table, a pot on the stove, like they were in the middle of cooking or eating when the sheriff showed up and evicted them. When I was landscaping here, you got people who live in Mexico and cross the border on a daily basis. They dump their trash in Mexico and they do landscaping here. They were my competition. They were, because of that reason, because of them being able to pick any empty lot or any open dumpster, dump their landscape trimmings or trash into those, cut their costs, so they were able to undercut me and come in and take away my contracts and take away my clients. It's either pay the power or neglect the kids. And I'm not gonna neglect my kids. My son is 3 years old. My daughter is 2 years old. She'll be 3 in December as well. My youngest, Iris, she just was born not that long ago. She's 2 months old.
How often do you see them?
I've been able to see them probably like maybe once or twice, you know, since they've left. They've left about 2 months ago.
But you could also point the finger at companies that are outsourcing jobs overseas.
I have my major objection with that. I believe that all American corporations should stay within the country. We should, you're an American corporation, for sake. Why provide income for a different country when people in your own country are struggling? I'm gonna look straight at the camera. I'm break rule number 1 to say it. Companies that leave the US for other countries are traitors. You're the cause of this. It's because of you that I can't find a job. I hope this Trump will create jobs. That's what I want. I want work. I want work. I want work.
And I could use Ford. They're moving, as you know, massive operations to Mexico. Nabisco, massive factory to Mexico, ripping it right out of Chicago. But here we have Carrier, so we're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about it. So Carrier fired the 1,400 people. Are any of those people in the audience? You gotta be kidding. You were both fired. How long did you work there? 26 years. You look like you're 26 years old. And 26 years, 17 years. All right. Well, you tell me if I'm right. So they get fired rather ruthlessly by somebody that looked like he was upper mid-level management. And somebody had their cell phone going, and most of you saw the deal.
It became clear that the best way to stay competitive and protect the business for long term is to move production from our facility in Indianapolis to Monterrey, Mexico.
America's middle class is no longer the richest in the world.
The country's going the wrong way, becoming a third world country.
Well, he does appeal to the undereducated, poorly educated, people who have lost.
It's the losers who vote for the populists, or those fearing to lose.
Whether or not you like Donald Trump or you loathe him, it is an irrefutable fact that the outsourcing of jobs and manufacturing over the past 30 years has, without question, destroyed America's middle class.
Let me tell you something about the carburetor business. Carburetor business was the best business ever. Shops used to come in 3, 4, 5 at a time. I used to supply stores. And it's just, oh yeah, my car needed a carburetor. It's like a cool thing to say. And listen, it was a great business.
If Hillary gets elected, we're never going to recover. There's going to be no America. We're going to be like Europe, where they have a terrorist act every other day, everyone's poor, and just the politicians will become exceedingly wealthy. It's a crooked system set up to kill the middle class. They always tell the poor that the middle class and the rich don't pay their fair share. They tell the middle class and the poor, and the rich that, oh, you see all these people on welfare, they're using up all your money. You know what the truth of the matter is? Truth of the matter is the politicians are stealing all the money. The rich pay too much taxes. The middle class pays too much. They give the poor almost nothing. They can't even live on the money they're giving them. In other words, I always say America is the government that robs you, and the companies big enough to pay off the government also robs you. I heard someone on the radio one time saying, we have a two-party system, 2 parties against the people. And that's what it is. That's why when you get a guy like Trump who loves the country, who doesn't need the job, he don't need this job, he's a billionaire. How many billions do you have? I have none. I don't have any billions. If you get all my assets, I've been working hard my whole life, I have 0 billions. Trump can't be bought.